I'm Elex Michaelson. This week the issue is the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee.
The Democratic National Convention.
Reporting from China.
This week the issue is border security. This is the official plane of the Vice President.
Mr. President, let's talk about California.
Madam Vice President,
Elex,
welcome back to The Issue Is.
It's good to be back with you.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks for having me on The Issue Is.
Welcome to The Issue Is.
Alex, thank you for having me.
Always great to see you. Welcome back to The Issue Is.
We've done this remotely,
Yes.
but never face to face.
Yes, you look great in person.
Well, so do you.
You know, it's always pretty fun to have the star of The Issue Is on our show, Elex Michaelson, taking his time with us. Elex, thanks for coming on, by the way, again. Now, last time we had you on, we were previewing former governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You actually did a special interview with him. In what country was it? Was it Austria? Where were you
It was
at?
Austria, yes, his hometown. As Matt Eisman, one of our guests on that show, said, being in Austria with Arnold is like being in Jesus in heaven. It's sort of like he's such a huge star there. He is the native son of Austria, their biggest star of the last, several decades there. And he has this huge climate conference there that brings together leaders from 60 countries in the world. We were there. He invited me to speak there. We went to this amazing cathedral. We went on a boat ride. We went with him to his hometown where he was born, to his childhood home, where he did a workout with 150 of his closest friends.
Yeah.
It was this amazing sort of experience, one of the great trips of my life, one of my favorite shows we've ever done. Last week, it actually ended up having to get bumped because of all the breaking news with everything that was going on in LA and all the chaos. So this week, even though we talked about it last week, it's supposed to air this week. Hopefully there isn't any more crisis between now and then, and people can check it out. It's one of my favorite shows.
Well, I want people to check it out. Now, it airs at 4 a.m. on Monday, right here on Fox 58. But don't worry, it's worthwhile to get up to watch that. We're working on that new time slot. Don't worry, I've got a thought for you on that.
You keep promising.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. All right, now,
Yeah.
speaking of last week, the chaos that continued to ensue down in L.A., that's where you live, and you're dealing with it personally.
Yep.
You have Newsom versus Trump on this. Now, basically dealing with the National Guard, bringing them in. There's a lawsuit that's still in play from Newsom to Trump, although it's been kind of postponed for the moment. What's your take on this?
Yeah, well, the lawsuit is literally called Newsom versus Trump. And there was a big hearing in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals this week. It's still unclear how they're going to rule. We could get a ruling as early as today on that topic of who controls California's National Guard. And it's sort of part of a bigger discussion in terms of how far should this go. Part of the reason that President Trump and the Republicans want the National Guard in California is not just to protect a few buildings. They want to use them, which they're using them now, as protection for ICE agents as they go out into the community and apprehend people who are in this country illegally. And it's clear that the mission that is currently underway is not just let's lock up people who have been convicted of other crimes and bring them to justice. It's clear that the mission right now is bigger than that. It is basically to apprehend anybody who's here illegally, wherever we find them. And Stephen Miller, who is leading this policy for the Trump team, wants there to be 3,000 apprehensions a day. You can't just do that with criminals. You have to do that by going to places like Home Depot parking lots and farms and car washes and churches. And we've seen all of that in play. And so will the National Guard, will the military be helping in that is very much a question. So far they are some. But could that be expanded?
Yeah, so last week when this whole thing, or a week and a half ago when this whole thing started, there were actual warrants for the people's arrests that the Trump administration was coming in for, ICE agents were coming in to get. Now, as you mentioned, Stephen Miller and the Trump administration is more about just rounding up just what you can when it comes to illegal immigration there. What I find interesting, though, is I saw on social media, social media always comes back to get you, right? Governor Newsom had made a statement back when January 6th happened over 4 years ago, saying he wants to bring in the National Guard and keep everybody safe from anything that could happen. And now this time, this happened in California, and he didn't want to bring the National Guard in. So it was really funny to see the contrast of the two. Do you think that stuff just plays for more the public rather than it is for what's going to happen in the courts?
Well, I think, what Newsom's point on this one is not that maybe the National Guard didn't need to be pulled in, although that's kind of what he says. But I think that his broader point is that the National Guard should be under the jurisdiction of the governor to bring in and not the president to decide to federalize it. And so Washington, D.C. is sort of a weird place because it's not really a state, and it's, there's all sorts of stuff there that makes that a little different. But still, of course, there's hypocrisy in politics. And of course, if you look back at everybody's tweets, you can find someone that says both sides of the same issue, which is why so many people are so frustrated by the process altogether.
Let me ask you, do you think because, Newsom can't run for governor, but he's going to try to run for president is what it seems like. But do you think this will affect the governor's race here in California, this particular issue down the horizon?
Probably not. You think about how short everybody's attention span is. I don't know how many people will be thinking about this, a year and a half from now when they're voting. And I think there'll probably be new issues that spray up. But, it's interesting that Kamala Harris, who obviously is considering running for governor, has been really quiet on this issue and hasn't been that vocal one way or another.
That's a good point. Well, Elex Michaelson, we appreciate your time, man, coming on. Once again, it's 4 a.m. Mondays when we can watch The Issue Is. This one was going to be featuring, this is the big interview. This is Alex's favorite interview, guys, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's the guy who pumped him up. Did you show him your guns? Did you show him?
On a previous episode of The Issue Is, we did a whole workout at Gold's Gym at the Mecca with him, and I never take pre-workout, but that day I did. It was like so much adrenaline. I lifted all the plates, and he's like, "I see what you're doing here." It was really fun. So you check that out on my YouTube page. If you look up "Workout and Wisdom" with Arnold Schwarzenegger, you can check out that episode, which is also something
I am going
else.
to that right now. That is fantastic. All right, Elex Michaelson. Oh, looks like we lost you there for a second. It's okay.
Bye.
We will see you next time, my friend. All right, check out Elex Michaelson on social media.